Okay, good morning. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, just Daf It. Today we're doing Nedarim, Daf Membeis, number 42. Great share for you today. We're going to talk about Shvius, even though it's no longer Shvius here in Israel. But get ready for 7 years from now. Nedarim and Shavuos. Two things that are not really relevant right now to most people. But nonetheless, it's part of the Masechta, part of Daf Yomi. So we're going to do it anyway. Mishnah says, Amudar Hanam Michavero. Someone who takes a neder that his friend shouldn't benefit from him, lifnei shvius, before shvius, so he took it now, right now. Eno yorel del sadeh, you can't come into my field. I asked you, not. You can't come into my field. Now, coming to my field, right, seems like trespassing, which seems like Jesus regal, which seems to be a machlokus. Now we have in the past, like Rolezra, that Viter is asur mudar not, trespassing is asur mudar not. Although the Gemara does not record a machlokas over here, most Rishonim say this mission is according to Rabbi Lezer, who asers Vitor aser Mudar Hano. I have a different explanation I will share with you. I believe this is even according to Rabbanan, they would aser over here. Going in someone's field is different than going through his yard. I'll tell you why. I've alluded to this before. It's like going in someone's field, it's like going in someone's house for a specific reason. I will elaborate on that in Iyud Ben Zion. Certainly he can't eat from his fruit tree. That's directly benefiting from his fruits. Even if the fruit trees are bent and they're sort of outside his field, right? They belong to him because the trees grow in his field. But with Shvius, right, on Shvius itself, he can't go into his field. Now, he can't go into his field because even though Shvius, you don't own the produce, right? You have to be mafkir your produce. The land still belongs to you. The land still belongs to you, unless you sold it to a guy. And there's a heter achira according to some poskim. So if the land belongs to you, you can't go into the guy's field. You could eat from the fruits that are leaning outside the land because you don't have to go inside. Another amount of maichal lifnei shvius. Let's say the neder was for food related purposes, like we distinguished at the beginning of the parak, a regular hana where you ask any type of hana, including any financial hana. Another amount of maichal is a physical type of hana. So lifnei shvius, before shvius, yorol del sadeu, ve'eno ochal min aperos v'shvius yored ba'ochal. So you could go into his field, because trees are regal, or going in someone's field, or going to someone's house, or their field, or the yard, right? I'm going to give a simple explanation over here. It's like Vitor, right? Asr Mudar. No, even Lezer holds, by no Dermin Michael, right? Vitor is gratuity that you give to somebody. It's not something which is considered a physical benefit, and therefore it's not a physical benefit. Therefore, it's not included in other minimaichal. So you can go into his field even not during Shvius, unless you can't eat the fruits. If a Shvius yard va'ochal, and Shvius, right, he's allowed to go into the guy's field. Like we said before, even before he's going into the guy's field va'ochal, and he's allowed to eat the fruits because the Shvius fruits you have to be mafkir. The Gemara says, Rav Shmuel Amar Nechasim Elo Alecha. If you make a neder, and the language of your neder is these nechasim, the following nechasim, the ones that I'm going to mention now are asr to you. Lifnei shvius, he makes a neder before shvius. Basically, he's saying my entire possessions are asr to you. So if you make the neder before shvius, and you're you can't go into his field, like we said, and you can't eat from fruit, even if it's protruding outside of his field. Even when shvius comes. Even when Shvius comes, not unless you can't eat the fruits, even if it's leaning outside the field, and you can't go into the field. Then Shvius neder. If you took the neder on Shvius itself, then Nechasim Elu Alecha on Shvius, Ein Yorel Tel Sadeu, he's not Yored, he can't go into his field of Ocham in Anotos. Can't go into his field. Because again, he owns the rights to his field. Right during Shvius, he can't trespass. Ocham in Anotos, however, if you don't have to go into the field, you can eat from fruit that's protruding outside, because the fruits are hefker. They say a different statement. We're going to see that in the Gemara. Really, Yochanan and Reish Lakish are not arguing around Mishmah. They're talking about a different case. Nichsi alecha, my possessions are asr to you. They didn't say nechasim elu. They said nichsi, my possessions are asr to you. Lifnei Shvius, if he said before Shvius, and Yaradol said that before Shvius, can't go into his field, and Yochel Minanotos. He can't even eat from fruit that extends out of his field. It's his fruit. Higia Shvius, Shvius can't. I know Yaradol said that, Ochel Minanotos. You can't go into his field, because his field belongs to him, but he could eat the notos, because he said Nichsi halacha, and it's only he asked it when it belonged to him, but on Shvius he doesn't own the fruits anymore, so therefore he can eat it. The Gemara first assumes that Rav and Shmuel are arguing on Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. There were similar languages, Nechasim Elu or Nichsai Allah. So the Gemara says, "What's machlokes?" Leima Hakmifli. The Rav and Shmuel Savri Adam Osu Davar Shabashusa Afiluk Sheitim Rishusa. Rav and Shmuel hold you could forbid something that's in your rishus now, forbid it even when it's going to go out of your rishus, right? On Shvius, Meshagia Shvius, even when it goes out of your rishus, it's still aser of fruits. You can't eat the fruits. Even if Shvius came, and if they're not, you don't have to go into his field, they're protruding outside of his field, you still can't eat it. The person doesn't have the power to do that. The Gemara asks on this suggestion, Vatispra, is this possible to say, Mikal Man is there any opinion that holds a person can forbid something? All right. If that were true, why is the machlokas about nichasim elu, right? Reish Lakish or Yochanan should argue even nichasim elu, right? Nichsei alecha sounds like only when it's my possession, right? When it goes out in possession, you could benefit from it. If you really hold that I can't answer something when it goes out in my rishus, even argue in the case of nichasim elu, which is what Rav and Shmuel were talking about. Visu, a further question. We have proof elsewhere in a Mishnah that you could answer something in the future when it leaves your rishus. The Mishnah says, I think this is in Mishnah Nedarim, Omer lebno konim shatan eneli meis, shatan eneli. You can't get benefit from me. He said to his son, Mace, if the father dies, you're Shenu. He could inherit, right? He can inherit what his father left for him as inheritance. B'chayev v'moso. However, if the lashon is dead there, you can't benefit from me not only during my lifetime, but also you can't benefit from me after I die. Men Beis on the top. He Mace, even if the person dies, though you're Shenu, you can't inherit him. So you see, you could answer something, even when it goes out of your rishus. So the Gemara rejects the second question. And there, very specified, right? A person can answer something afterwards, but he specified even after I die, when it goes out of my rishus, I lose possession after I die. You don't own anything after you die. Nonetheless, he specified b'mosa. However, here he didn't specify. The Gemara says, nonetheless, mikol kasha. So the first question is a question. So the Gemara relents. Everyone agrees. You say nechasim elu, you could answer something even after it leaves your rishus. The machlokas, the Gemara suggesting there's still a machlokas, is when you say nixi alecha, Rav Shmuel Savri, loshna nechasim elu, loshna nixi. They mention nechasim elu. They would also say nixi. You could also answer even after it leaves your rishus. Adam osa. Person can answer even if after it leaves his rishus. Yochanan Yishlaka Savri nechasim adam oser, nixi and adam oser. Right? If you say nechasim elu, like Rav Shmuel said, then you could answer it. If you say nixi, then you can't answer it afterwards. So the Gemara continues. Question. Is there possible to make a distinction between them? To not make a distinction between them? He says to his friend, he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to be nice to his friend. I'm never going to go to your house. Your house is forbidden to me. Sadcha shani lokeach. I'm not going to buy anything from you. I'm not going to buy your field from you. Meis oshamachro. He said sadcha or beitcha, right? Your field or your house. Let's say the person died. Oshamachro. He sold it to acher, a mutter. Then he's mutter to go into the person's house because it doesn't belong to him anymore. Beischa is no longer beischa, or it's no longer his field, so he could purchase it. However, if the lashon is neder, buy yizeh shani nechas sadazu shani lokeach. He specifies the house itself, not your house or this field. It doesn't say your field. And then, nonetheless, it's going to be aser afterwards. So you see, there is a distinction between saying beitcha or sadcha or when he says over here nichsai, right? Ella ki amri Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish b'nichsai Rav Shmuel b'nechazim elu v'lo pligi. Really, Rav and Shmuel don't argue in Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish. They're just talking about different cases. If you say nechazim elu, so obviously it answers even after it leaves your possession, because you're forbidding the possession. You're forbidding the the property and the fruits. However, nichsai is only when it belongs to me, and during Shvi it doesn't belong to me. So therefore, it's much you can't go into the guy's field because the field doesn't become hefker, but the actual fruits do become hefker. So if they are protruding out of the field, you could eat them. With Shvi is in Yorel Sadeh, the Mishnah says Shvi you can't go into his field. Maishna the ochal minanotos. Why do we allow the person to eat from fruits that are growing inside the field but are protruding outside the borders of the field? Def Keira, right? The reason on Shvius is mutter is because they're hefker. In an ara, not mi afkara, right? Similarly, you should be able to go into the guy's field. Why I say you can't go into the guy's field on Shvius, right? Presumably, even though really you still retain ownership over the land, but the person's mafkir has to be mafkir his field. You have to be able to go in to get the fruits. You don't. Why can you only eat the fruits that are protruding outside? The fruits inside the field are hefker. Obviously, the Torah, by making them hefker, allowed you to go in there, allowed you to trespass to get the fruits. Amar Ula, to answer this question, Amar Ula, Ula says, we're talking about a case where the trees with fruits are on the boundaries and protruding outside. So the Torah allows you to go get the fruits if there's no other way to get fruits from this guy's field. But if the fruits are already protruding to the outside, so the Torah says, take those fruits. You don't have to go in. It's his field. Shimon Yakam Omar he says a different reason you can't go in. It's Gzera Derabbanan. Technically, the Raisa you could go in. The Neder does not forbid you to go and take the fruits. However, we're concerned that you might stick around there longer, and then longer than it takes to just grab the fruits and leave. You might enjoy yourself where they sit down by the shade of the tree and enjoy the fruits underneath the tree. So therefore, you'll stay there longer, and you're going to benefit over there by staying in his field. And it's his field after all, right? Torah's mafkir his field to get the fruits, but not after you got the fruits, you have to leave. So that's what we're worried about. So therefore, we don't even let you go in to begin with, because you might stay there. That's the conclusion of today's shir. Quick shir. Stay tuned for Ian with Mansia. I'm going to give you why I believe the Mishnah is even talking according to the Rabbanan. It's not just exclusive to Bezer who holds Vitor Asr Mudarna. Ian with Mansia coming up next.